Greetings. I'm sorry, Facebook have suspended my account for a period of time, twice. After the first period, I tried, to send some messages, and I was suspended again. But now, thank goodness, Facebook was kind enough to allow me to resume my work on this new account. Very well. In the previous videos, two videos so far, I was calling for peace in the world between the two nations that love and believe in Jesus Christ, Christians and Muslims. And in the last video, the second video, I said that both nations are hypocrites. Both Christians and Muslims are hypocrites when it comes to Jesus Christ. We spoke in the last video about the name of the Lord in the area and the region that Jesus was born and raised in and departed to the heaven, in the Middle East, the Holy Land, where people speak Arabic, Aramaic, Hebrew, and the name of the Lord, we said Allah. And I said, please, do not follow that. If you don't like to use the true name, just call your deity whatever you wish, as long as you stop insulting the true name that Arab Christians use, which is the name Allah, not only the Muslims. So in fact, when you insult, the name of Allah, you are insulting the Lord and deity of millions of Muslims, close to 25 to 30 million Christians in Egypt alone. Not to mention, the other Arab countries in the Middle East. All the Jewish Christian book, the Bible, in Arabic, the Arabic version, wherever you see God or any other, Latin name, you will find the name Allah mentioned for the Lord. So I said this is the first step to start, toward peace between the two nations who love Jesus so much. Now, let me show you another indication how those two nations who love Jesus so much, they claim they love Jesus so much, yet they are hypocrites. All right, let's give another example. When you say Jesus, this is an English word. This is not the true name of the Christ of the Lord, the Messiah. His name is Yeshua el-Masih, or in Hebrew, Yeshua HaMashiach. So how did, those who speak English in the West came to this mistake, sad mistake, to change the name of the man that they love with all of their hearts? And some of you made him God for worship. How did you reach this? All right, let me tell you the story in brief. The Jewish book, the Tanakh, Torah Ketuvim Nevuim, the Torah and the writing of the prophets, first started perhaps in Hebrew. Or maybe, some people say that Jesus spoke Aramaic, Hebrew or Aramaic. But when we come to the New Testament now, it started in Greece or in Rome. Anyway, it was in Latin. Started with the old Latin language, Vulgate, and then transferred to other languages. The first translation that came out to the open into the hands of the people, the public, it was reserved only to the rabbis, Jewish preachers and the Christian preachers. Hidden. The original, the normal people, average people were not allowed to read from it. Then a kind man named Martin Luther, not Martin Luther King of the US, Martin Luther, he translated those books into German, the first translation, from the old Vulgate, old Latin language. Now, when he translated to German, Yeshua, like Jesus, E in Greek, Y. Jesus, it's an E. When you come to the German language, the letter E in German looks like the letter J in English. So when this gentleman, translated to German, every E in the original text, in Vulgate and Greek, they were transferred into the German E that looks like J in English. Now the sad, who later on translated, they picked up the J as it is, not E anymore. It became J, not E, English E. It's supposed to be translated to English E, Jesus, in Greek. So now every name in the Bible, every name that started with an E now became J with the English translations. For example, Yaakov became Jacob, Yusuf became Joseph, Elias became Elijah, Benjamin became Benjamin, Yusuf became Joseph, the Yeshua, Jesus, became Jesus. The difference is so great. It's a completely different name. You are calling on a different person altogether. A huge mistake. Now, my name is Mark Landon. If I find anybody from my friends who claim that they respect me so much, they have so much love for me, my personality, I don't expect any of them to come, instead of saying, Mark, how are you today? They will say, for example, George, what you have been up to. I don't expect that. And it is it has disrespect. He knows, those friends of mine know my name is Mark. Don't call me George, for goodness sake. You love Jesus. Well, his name is not Jesus. His true name is Jesus, or Yeshua al-Masih, or Yeshua HaMashiach. You don't need to learn Hebrew or Arabic to say Jesus. It's in Greek, in Latin. Yeshua, it's so easy, beautiful on the tongue. But you say, Jesus. Where did you bring this from? Why you accepted it? This false translation from German to English. Why you accepted it? In Spanish, Jesus. Jesus. E like E, Jesus. But in English, it's a completely another man, another name. So that does not show love to the man of the Lord, the Christ of the Lord, the true Christ, the genuine Christ of the Lord, the Son of Holy Mary, the Virgin, the miracle. Both of them are miracles. Holy Mary and Yeshua al-Masih are miracles. But like I did with Allah, the name Allah, the true name, I do the same with the true name of Yeshua al-Masih. Please, please, do not change. You want to call him Jesus? Call him Jesus. It's up to you. You got used to this since birth. when you were first baptized, if you ever been baptized, since your birth, you were raised hearing that the name of the man is Jesus. So continue, no harm. But at least you deserve to know the truth. And the truth is, his name is not Jesus, this letter J, and it is not Elijah, and it is not Jacob or Joseph or Benjamin. His name is Benjamin. Many names, too many names in the Bible have been altered and changed. Altered and changed completely. You cannot tell me that Elias and Elijah are the same. No, they are not. Completely different names. But you can continue calling him Jesus. If this is difficult for you to change a life habit, you have been since birth calling him Jesus, Jesus, fine, continue with that. But this is an attitude of a hypocrite. Because you say you love Jesus, you love Yeshua al-Masih with all of your heart, yet you call him with a different name that you invented or you accepted. So this is another example of how we are hypocrites. Now, let's go to the Muslims. Another example why Muslims are hypocrites. Very, very bad case. All right. In the Quran, like the Bible, there are chapters and verses. If we go in the Quran of the Muslims, which, you know, the Christians have Bible, the Muslims have Quran. All right, we go to chapter number 3 and the verse number 46. It says literally about Yeshua al-Masih, or you want to call him Jesus. So let's use, you know, what you are used to. Even I don't like that. I don't want to be a hypocrite myself. But I am forced. You force my hand. This is what you understand. So let's use it. It speaks about Jesus and says, and he speaks to the people in the griddle as a very newborn child and in an old age at the end of time. Another chapter and another verse, chapter 43 and verse 61. It says literally about Jesus Christ, the Messiah, the wonderful, blessed man of the Lord. وَإِنَّهُ, and he is as an announcement for the hour. For the hour. When we have the interpretation of those words, we read that Jesus, he will return. He will return. And when he returns, the countdown starts to the end times, to the end of this world. And it's not like 2012, a flood like Noah. This is, you know, a copy from Noah's story, which is not true. When the time comes, the catastrophe will be so great. The whole universe will collapse. This planet that we call home will cease to exist. All the galaxies in the universe will crash. The planets will crash. Scientists, you know, who reach this conclusion call it the Big Crunch. The Big Crunch. When the space stop, you know, going outward and expanding and start collapsing on itself under gravity and the dark matter, then everything in this universe will be demolished, including our planet, planet Earth, our home. And we will be moved to a different place to be questioned and then to be judged. Some of us will go to paradise and others will go to hell, according to the two books, the Bible and the Quran. The New Testament. The Old Testament, you know, it's a different story. When you die, you just join your ancestors forever. So death is the end. There is no return. But with the resurrection of Jesus Christ, we have the church, teaching resurrection, assuring us that we are coming back. And this has been known even in old history, through history past. Look at the pharaohs. When a pharaoh king, for example, or nobility dies, he takes all his silverware and pots and even food for the hereafter. So they believe in the hereafter, even the pharaohs, thousands of years back, even before Moses. So, now those are the words in the Quran of the Muslims. How the Muslims are hypocrites. This is a beautiful teaching about Jesus Christ and the hope, giving us the hope in the Bible and the Quran that Jesus is coming back. How did the Muslims treat this information in their book? They completely forgot it. And they're waiting for another man. How? They lost the way, the true path, the right path. Simple. Some Jews, in millions, 1,400 years back, converted to Islam, or in hundreds of thousands, not to exaggerate. And they brought something with them to Islam, to the new faith. They are waiting for their Messiah to come. They rejected Jesus Christ. To his own he came, the book says, to his own he came and his own rejected him. His own are the Israelis, children of Israel, Jacob, Yaakov. So now the Israelis who converted to Islam, they have in their Jewish belief, the religion of the Jews, as we explained in a different video, that they are waiting for something, for the return of Elijah first, as a sign for the coming of their Jewish Messiah. So they are waiting for a Messiah until today. And we explained that in the last video. So when they came to Islam, now we have a new invented man. They invented a new man called Al-Mahdi. Millions of Muslims today, they believe in this fiction, something called Al-Mahdi. In the different sects, the Shia, they have a different Mahdi from the Sunni among the Muslims. But they invented a coming of a man. And they completely forgot about what their Lord Almighty told them about Jesus Christ and his return. His first appearance, coming, and his second in his return. They completely forgot, and they invented a fiction character named Al-Mahdi. And because of their sad action that they did, this hypocrite action, leaving the words about the only man, the only hope left for humanity in their book, they resorted to a fiction character coming to do all kinds of things. And now we have preachers, Christian preachers, taking, things from the Bible falsely, false claims, sad, evil claims. And they're saying, this is, Al-Mahdi of the Muslims. Well, that Al-Mahdi is fiction. So why waste so much time? Just because you want to attack Muslims? Well, this animosity between the two nations need to stop. We need to seek peace. Jesus said, "Yea to the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God." Christians forgot that. They don't seek peace anymore. Muslims are living on a different planet regarding this. So we need to wake up, everybody. Please snap out of it. Enough is enough. You have done so much harm against one another. The Muslims don't hate the Christians. We don't see it so obvious, like in the mosques or in the gathering, except for few, illiterate preachers may preach this. But the major attack is coming in Christian churches in my home country, the United States. And this needs to stop. The houses of worship and churches are not to promote hate, but to promote love. Because in the book of 2nd John or 1st John, for God so loved the world, Muslims are in this world and included. And so God so loved the world. So if you are a true Christian, be like God, loving, not full of hate. Because of, few stupid among the Muslims, terrorists, and I said that before in the first video, they have terrorists, Christians have terrorists, the Hindu have terrorists. Look at Burma, what they are doing. The Buddhists have terrorists. Some stories we see, maybe it's true, it's not. The ninja are assassins, terrorists. Every nation has terrorists. So don't generalize. Not all Christians are terrorists. Not all Muslims are terrorists. Only few, thank goodness, from both nations. So the animosity between the two nations, who love Jesus so much with all of their hearts, need to stop. The hypocrisy, if we can, let us prevent it, especially the Muslims, Stop inventing fiction characters like Al-Mahdi. Focus on the words of your book, your Quran, that says the only hope left for humanity is the return of this blessed, wonderful man named Jesus Christ, or Yeshua al-Masih, Yeshua HaMashiach. He is the hope left for this planet. So please, snap out of it. There is no such a thing called Al-Mahdi. This is something that you invented, you copied from the Jews who converted, and it's up to you now. If you want to follow the words of your Lord, or you want to follow the temptations of your hearts, I leave it in your corner to decide which way you want to take. So, we are hypocrites, and I'm showing the proofs. You can change if you wish, but I leave it in your hands to decide what you want to do with it. It's so hard if you have been raised hearing the word Jesus, 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 to change to Yeshua al-Masih, or Jesus in Greek, the origin of Christianity, because that's where Paul started, Greece and Rome. So this is where Christianity started, and in those places, in Greece, it's Jesus. In the region where Jesus was born, it's Yeshua. So it's up to you to change or stay, saying Jesus as you wish. Very well. But this is not, a solution to make peace. It's just some minor corrections. We will go, to the other topics, especially the differences, how both nations look at the man Jesus Christ. And we need to see if there is a way out of this confusion, or to find some common grounds between the two nations. I hope we will be able to do it. We are smart enough, educated, articulated to accomplish this task. Hopefully. All right. So I'm happy to be back between you I'm continuing my work, and I'm praying please pray with me for the peace in this world, especially between the two nations. And let us prepare the way for Jesus' return. This wonderful, blessed man, the Messiah, the Christ. No doubt about it. Take care and be safe.